back in the van, back from holiday, and just this video is just about a deal I've just done for a mobile phone. Obviously my page is Savvy Shopper Thrifty Traveller, so as well as holidays and budget travel, it's all about kind of deals and saving money along the way as well.
Nice.
And I'm driving to work after spending an hour probably on the online chat to 3 Mobile, and I'm just baffled at the moment in my head with what I've ended up coming out with, to be honest. So I thought I'd share it. It almost seems too good to be true. I hope it isn't, but at the end of the day, I've got 14-day peace of mind guarantee. So if it isn't exactly what he said when it lands, then it's going straight back. Doesn't cost me a penny, and I will just go back onto my original deal, which is a SIM-only deal. It was nearly £9 a month. It was £8.70 something, £8.80 something a month. I was on unlimited minutes, unlimited texts with only 30 gig of data. It was a 12-month contract I had the other year that's come to an end, and I've just left it rolling. I'd broken a previous phone ages ago and bought another one about a year and a half ago, and I always normally just buy phones for cash and SIM only, because I am pretty terrible with phones. Unfortunately, I do tend to break them. So I never really have an expensive phone because I just don't want to pay for it, to be honest. So the phone I've got at the moment works perfectly fine, but the battery life's not the best. Especially now I'm using it more and more. I noticed when I was doing a lot of videoing and on holiday, it just didn't last as good as it could. And also compared to my partner's phone, my wife's phone, the camera quality on it just wasn't top spec. It was a budget phone, so it was never going to be. But for day-to-day use, prior to kind of me considering anything for photography, holidays, YouTube, it was perfectly fine for what I needed. But anyway, so I decided to have a shop round. I went online. I found a really good deal through a company called Phone Warehouse, but spelled F-O-N-E. And it was for a phone called the Honor 400 Pro Edition, because it got the better battery, the better camera, and some extra memory and things. I've got an Honor phone at the moment. I've had an Honor and Huawei before. They're just always good phones for what I need. They're good value phones compared to Samsungs and iPhones and other things on the market. You just seem to get more tech for less money, which again suits kind of everything about me. And yeah, so I thought I'll stick with Honor. It is what I know. The menus are fine. It's Android, which is fine, but it's a much better phone than what I have now. It's not the best spec phone out there. I don't need that, and I don't want that. I don't want the equivalent of what would probably be the Honor Magic 7 Pro, which is £1,000 phone. I just don't want to be carrying that around with me. But the Honor 400 Pro is a massive step up from what I've got, which is an Honor Magic 6 Lite. I always buy the light versions normally, which give me the more bang for my buck at the time. It was an inferior camera, it was an inferior memory, but my phone usage is now, my requirements are now changing. So anyway, I looked online, found this deal, free phone. It was a 24-month contract, which is fine. It was £29 a month, and that was with Vodafone for unlimited minutes, unlimited text, which is pretty standard these days, but unlimited data, unlimited. Probably with a fair usage policy, but I've got a 30 gig policy at the moment, and I do sometimes exceed that, and I have paid on the odd month for extra. But nevertheless, unlimited. So I thought, 29 quid. It's £19 more a month than what I'm spending at the moment for this SIM-only deal, and it gives me a brand new phone. There was an offer for claim back, where once you've received the phone through some kind of link, you click on the link, put in your details, put in what obviously that you bought, and I was entitled to some free earphones, a free watch, like an app watch, like a Fitbit type, smart watch, and a free Bluetooth speaker, which, great, free little bits. I'm sure if the bits I don't use, I can either sell them or I can give them away to people that might need them, whatever. And I thought, great. So I've been on to 3, text this number for me pack code, wouldn't go through. So I went online, went onto their online chat, pardon me, and obviously got through to Robot Online, typed in I wanted my pack code to leave, and then all of a sudden you go through to a human on chat, and then they're basically trying to persuade you obviously to stay. It's the usual deal, which in my experience normally I've always found better deals online than being able to do anything with existing. So I was honest with him, I didn't lie, I told him everything I'd found, told him the deal, and he went away and he came back with the same deal pretty much. He came back with the same phone, it had to be in grey instead of black, I'm not bothered. It was the same Honor 400 Pro, 512GB memory phone, same 24-month deal contract. He did it as a unlimited minutes, unlimited text with 150GB of data, not unlimited. I will never use 150GB of data, so the unlimited was irrelevant anyway. And it's broken down at £29.21 a month, and it's split as I am making a monthly payment of £19.21 for the phone over 24 months, and then I'm paying £10 a month for a 24-month contract for a SIM-only contract, basically, is how the plan is broken down, which gives me a grand total of £29.21 a month for this phone. I asked him about all the freebies, and apparently that is something Honor are doing directly, and I'm applicable to do the same. So once I receive the phone, which hopefully will be tomorrow or Saturday, it's coming through DPD, I can log on through this link and claim my free items. So supposedly it's a set of Honor wireless Bluetooth earpods. I've currently got a couple of sets. I normally buy the cheapy ones, to be honest, because I lose them or leave them in hotels, or I've even dropped one on the floor before and not realised and bloody reversed over it with my van and then I only had one ear. But I've got a couple of sets, one in my gym bag, one in my van. I've got them everywhere because I normally buy the 20 quid ones from Amazon. So let's see what these are like. I'll see what quality they're like. If they're decent, I might keep them in my gym bag. If they're comfy, obviously I might just keep them for every day, whatever. The Bluetooth speaker, I might use that in the garden time to time, I suppose. Not sure. And the watch, I do have a smartwatch, but again, I'll give this one a whirl, see what it's like. I might use one for work and one for best, and that way I'm not scratching and knackering the only other watch I have. So, but they were all free. Supposedly they reckon that there's like a £400 worth of value for this kit. I very much doubt it was that much to begin with, but even so, it's got to be a couple of £100 worth of stuff for free. And then he said, what about your current phone? And I said, well, I was thinking of keeping this phone, to be honest, just as a bit of a backup. And he was like, well, do you want me to see what you're eligible for trade-in value against it? I thought, well, it's not an expensive phone, but why not? And I gave him the details and the IMEI number of the phone, and he come back and he said, well, look, he says the trade-in value on this phone is £66 if it's in mint condition, which this is not in mint condition. It's fully functional, but there are scuff marks on the screen because the screen protector came off and I was stupid and didn't put another one on. So I went through and I answered all his questions. Does it work? Yes. Does it switch on? Has it been in water? No. Are there any damage? So obviously then I've stepped up and said, it's not cracked, it's not got any problems, but there are scuff marks on the screen. It's not a grade A phone. And he's gone, right, okay, well the value of the phone realistically then will be £31.20. And at this point I'm thinking, I'll probably keep it for £31.20. It's not really worth me giving it him back. It's better for me to have the spare. The phone technically is nothing wrong. It'd be a really good spare to somebody, me, hopefully, if I ever needed it. And he said, but Honor are doing another deal direct with 3, he says, and he said, as part of obviously all of the other promotions they're running, he said what we can do is we can take this as a trade-in, and as long as it matches all the criteria of what you've said this phone is, he said there'll be a booster added to the trade-in value. And I was like, okay, so to how much will I get back in total? And he says, as long as everything matches the description I've given him, which it will, he said £312 will be my my amounts allotted back to me. And he said you can either have that paid as a lump sum in cash to your bank, or he said you can have it as a deduction over the 24 months off your monthly instalments. So I asked him if it's a better deal if we do it over, if we break it down over the instalments, is it more valuable to me to lower my monthly payments? And he said not really, to be honest. No, it's still the same value, you're just going to be paying less a month. So I'm thinking, oh, £312 will be nice. So I thought, so that's what we've gone for. So the deal is, I get the phone, the new phone, the Honor 400 Pro, grey, 512 gig, free of charge. I'm paying £29.21 a month. That's for the phone and a tariff of unlimited minutes, unlimited text, 150 gig of data. And I'm gonna claim my free earpods, my free watch, and my free speaker. I've got 14 days from receiving my new phone to basically transfer everything from this phone over to the new one, completely master reset this, so obviously it's data free. I'm not sending any information over, and they're going to give me a bubble wrapped envelope, prepaid envelope, to send this phone off. They're going to inspect it to see that is exactly what I've said, and then they're going to put in my bank £312 for this phone. And I'm sitting here thinking something just doesn't add up, and it's for two reasons. The Honor 400 Pro on Honor and on Amazon now is up for retail at $699 a month, and you can pay that over 24 months with Honor Direct, interest free if you wanted. There is an early bird offer on the phone because it's a bit of a launch. They're trying to push this phone. It's a newer model phone, and they're doing £150 off it if you buy it direct with Honor. So that makes the phone with Honor Direct £549 and something pence, and then you can pay that up front all in one go, or you can have it over 24 months interest free with Honor. My £19.21 a month for this phone doesn't add up to £549. It means that I'm going to be paying back to 3 Mobile £470, which isn't a big difference, it's not, but it's still £80 cheaper than what obviously Honor are selling it direct. And then in addition, 3 aren't going to make any more money off me, because at unlimited minutes and unlimited text and 150 gigabytes of data, I am not going to be going over that allowance. So the £10 a month for my SIM is always going to be £10. It just makes no sense. So the £312 that I'm going to get back, I hope, for this phone, it really doesn't make sense, because I had a look, and 17 months ago I paid £269 for this phone. It is an Honor Magic 6 Lite in orange, and I bought it direct from Honor, and I did the same thing. It was £269.99p, and I had it over 3 interest-free instalments through Klarna. And it was a cheap phone because I broke my old one, and I don't buy expensive phones, and £269 isn't a lot of money these days for a phone. And it was a brilliant phone. It looked lovely, it worked, it did everything I needed, and it was the right price. And they're now going to give me back £52 more money for this phone than I paid for it 17 months ago in a not new condition. And I just don't understand how that works. And there can't be any clause or kicker, because I've honestly described this phone to them. I haven't said it's an absolute brand spanking new phone. They're expecting to receive a phone that works, powers up, switches on, has no damage, cracks, splits, whatever in the screen, but scuff marks. And I explained there are scuff marks on the screen. And I have a copy of our conversation. I downloaded it after the online chat just to cover myself. So I have all the information, all of the tariff details that he's assigned to me and he's promised me. And I'm just sitting here thinking, so over the course of the contract, obviously I'm going to pay £470 back for the phone, and a further £240 for the airtime for the tariff. So that's going to set me back £710 for 2 years, which is a lot of money. But then most phones are over £1,000 anyway now, and £10 a month for a SIM is not a lot of money. You know, £10 a month for unlimited minutes, unlimited text, and 150 gig of data is a good deal on its own right. Without anything else, that's a good deal. And obviously, coupling to the fact I'm getting a decent phone for a good price, better than what I can buy direct, and then I'm getting all these freebies, which I might or might not use, and then they're going to give me more money back for the phone that I've already got than what I paid for it. And I'm driving to work now thinking, have I missed something? It almost feels too good to be true, and my gut is very rarely wrong, and the maths don't add up on it. They can't physically make any extra money out of me. And they went through all of the usual spiel. You're a valued customer, sir. We really wish to keep you on board. We don't want to lose you to Vodafone, even though they've just joined forces with Vodafone and done a merger, so it would have been the same, I would have thought, give or take. And yes, I've been with Three for a few years, but I spend nothing with them. I'm always SIM onlys. I always have the best deals I can find. I always get cashback related deals. They make nothing out of my account. Yeah, I'm a valued customer. If I was Three, I'd have wanted to get rid of me a long time ago, because you do not make money out of me. You know, my last tariff was £8. Originally, I signed up for an £8 a month tariff to SIM only deal, and of that £8, I got £32 cash back from that as well. You've had 2 months in the last 12 months where there's been network outages, and you've then credited me a month free of charge to apologise. I've only paid for 6 months out of the last 12 months for my tariff, and I'm a valued customer. So anyway, I just thought, obviously, instead of doing a travel related video, I am confused at the moment and bewildered. I hope that, and I will do a video updating this, I hope that on Saturday I'm receiving everything I expect to receive. It's the right phone, it's the right deal, it's the right tariff, and I'm going to click on those links and I'm going to order those free items and wait till they come. I'm going to send off my phone and obviously get my cash back, and then we'll do another video on this confirming, hopefully, that everything is what they've just said. The maths don't add up, but it's a brilliant deal, and if it is real, get on it. If you're out of contract with Three at the moment, and you want an okay phone and you want a spanking deal, it seems to be that they'll bend over backwards to keep you at the moment for whatever reason. And yeah, that's it for this one, and I'll put a second video up once I've claimed all my freebies and I've got my cash back, and hopefully I'm giving you all the thumbs up and telling you that it wasn't too good to be true, it was the real deal, but we'll see.